Allison Holker is the widow of everyone's favorite dancing sidekick, Steven Twitch Boss, who you may know from the Ellen DeGeneres show and the likes of So You Think You Can Dance. That is where I first knew him from. I am a big fan of shows like So You Think You Can Dance and American Idol and The Voice because I really enjoy seeing people who excel at what I consider to be God-given talent. They obviously work hard at perfecting their craft, don't get me wrong, but not everyone is cutting out to excel in these artistic fields. I know I certainly am not. So I admire these talented folks from the sidelines. No one can dispute that Twitch and Allison are both really gifted dancers. Twitch quickly became a fan favorite on So You Think You Can Dance, and he went on to become a judge on the show. He really secured his spot in Hollywood when he was tapped by Ellen to be her sidekick on her daytime talk show. Steven married his wife Allison, whom he met on So You Think You Can Dance, and they were married for 9 years, and sadly, he passed away in 2022. Allison received an outpouring of support for herself and the couple's 3 children in the wake of Steven's death. But recently, the public sentiment around Allison seems to be shifting because in the year of our Lord 2025, some 2 years after Steven's passing, she has decided to make some controversial statements about her deceased husband. Some of the people who knew Twitch best are publicly blasting Allison for what she is saying now about her husband. We have a lot to talk about. Let's get into today's video. Hey everyone, long time no see. Welcome back to Sarah Spills. I am Sarah. My goal for 2025 is to be much more active over here on Sarah Spills with a wide variety of topics. Nothing will change on Reality Squad, but I just wanted to say I appreciate all of your support here on Sarah Spills, as well as with my podcast, Mostly Harmless. Just before Christmas in 2022, the world learned the devastating news that Steven Twitch Boss had died by suicide.
Some tragic news to share tonight. The family of Steven Twitch Boss, known to millions as the longtime DJ on Ellen DeGeneres' talk show, confirming he took his own life at the age of 40.
He was a regular on the Ellen show for years.
Over a decade ago, I met someone who changed my life.
Steven Twitch Boss. Twitch was the DJ, but more. Ellen's favorite dancer and partner, eventually executive producer. As recently as Sunday, Twitch was dancing with his wife, Allison Holker, in front of their Christmas tree. They'd just posted celebrating their 9th wedding anniversary. Friends and fans stunned by the news he took his own life Tuesday. He was the backbone of our family, the best husband and father, and an inspiration to his fans, Holker said. To say he left a legacy would be an understatement. To many following along on social media, the 40-year-old father of 3 seemed so full of joy, a reminder that pain can remain hidden. Today, his wife writing, "Steven, we love you, we miss you, and I will always save the last dance for you." Kate Snow, NBC News.
If you or someone you know needs help, call the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline at 988.
Twitch was not only a staple on our television screens, but he and his wife Allison rose to prominence on social media during the pandemic by posting dancing videos, which really helped boost morale for society as we were all struggling through 2020 and beyond. Twitch and Allison had just celebrated their 9th wedding anniversary, and they were in the midst of posting a lot of holiday content on social media at the time of Twitch's death. His death sent shockwaves through the industry, and his widow, Allison, received an outpouring of support that really had remained steady in the now 2 years since his death. There were some rumblings, I remember, about some judgment surrounding Allison changing her name back to her maiden name on social media so quickly. And then there were rumors about her requiring people to sign NDAs at Twitch's funeral, things that might make you side-eye a little bit, but overall, for the last last 2 years, I think public sentiment surrounding Allison has been pretty positive. Well, now it's 2025 and Allison is releasing a book, which will come out in February, and it's titled This Far, My Story of Love, Loss, and Embracing the Light. She just did a cover story with People magazine, and this really has everyone talking because it is not being well received.
This new chapter where I'm really going to be finding the best version of who I am, and not the best version of who I was with Steven or with my past traumas even before Steven, outside of being a mom, outside of being a career woman, outside of writing a book, outside of this, like who am I just existing right now?
I'll just say for myself, just kind of tangentially knowing about Allison, I didn't ever really form an opinion about her either way. I mean, I definitely didn't have a negative opinion about her. And I suppose my opinion about her was mostly positive. I mean, I enjoyed following her. She was Twitch's wife. And I really was a fan of his. So yeah, I guess my opinion was mostly positive, but I didn't know anything about her personally. My heart absolutely broke for her when news broke about Steven's passing. Here, they had just celebrated their wedding anniversary. It was Christmas time. They have 3 kids. I still have a lot of sympathy for her and Steven's whole family. Losing a loved one by self-inflicted means is a special kind of horror and trauma that I've gathered from hearing people who've gone through this kind of loss. Comes with a fair amount of anger along with grief. It's a mixed bag of complicated emotions to work through, and you never get over it. You learn to live with the grief as a forever companion for the rest of your life. The first thing that struck me as kind of oof in this interview was when Allison says she wants people to get to know her aside from Steven. I don't know why this inherently rubbed me the wrong way, but it did. And then she went on for like 15 more minutes in this interview talking about Steven and his alleged personal struggles. So it's like, well, which is it, Allison? If you want people to get to know you aside from Steven, why did you write a whole ass book about losing him with bombshell revelations that are very much in dispute? Now your notoriety, Allison, is directly linked to him. So mission not accomplished. I have never seen backlash to a widow opening up about a deceased spouse the likes I am seeing now with the response to Allison's People interview promoting her upcoming book. Some of the people who knew Steven best are absolutely pissed because she is revealing information that is very much in dispute.
I had dealt with an ex that had addiction problems, and then I realized Steven had addiction problems, and it's something that I kind of have been like, where was I involved in this? I was able to help one, and I wish I could have been that for the other. But it's also not my job to do that. There was a moment I was with one of my really dear friends, and we were cleaning out the closet and picking out an outfit for him for the funeral. And it was a really triggering moment for me because there was a lot of things I discovered in our closet that I did not know existed. And it was very alarming to me to learn that there was so much happening that I had no clue. I really wanted to come out with this book because I've had so much support around me for years, around me, around my family, and so many people feel like they know who I am and they look to us and they lean on us. And I've always loved that our family is like kind of this example of love and joy and light. I did think it was important for me to share my full story with the audience, to share that there have been a lot of low times, or I've had to deal with things that have helped me to become the person I am. And I'm still going through things, and they've been really big, dramatic things and things I've had to really push myself forward with. Yes, I want to be that beacon of love and joy, but it's taken a lot of hard work, and I've gone through a lot of trials, and I've had a lot of, trauma and grief in my life, and it's been a choice to get myself through it.
I think it's important to point out that a talk screen that was run during Twitch's autopsy revealed that there were no drugs or alcohol in his system at the time of his death.
There's been a lot of questions about why I don't post about Steven, and the truth is, it hurts me to sometimes look back and see pictures. It's very triggering. It was such a beautiful time, but then the stories have kind of turned and changed. It's also really important in my healing journey that people start to see me as me without him. And it's not that we can't ever honor him, but we don't have to honor him in front of everyone. But then I realized the longer people still see us with him, the longer that carries. that emotion, that triggering emotion, because people don't realize that like it's triggering for us, but it also can be triggering for a different fan or a different family member or a different loved one. I need people to see us as new individuals and who we are now. I decided to take my ring off a couple months after because I always turn my rings. And I always like twist them and play with them. And not even out of nerves, it's just kind of like I just constantly am turning my rings and like playing with my jewelry. And I would find myself doing it with my ring. It would immediately, even on a good day, I'd be turning my ring and it would immediately bring me back to like a memory or our wedding day or, you know, a memory with our children. And so I had to take it off so I didn't trigger myself constantly.
I suppose on the one hand, I can appreciate not wanting to be triggered all the time by a flood of memories of a loved one that is no longer with us. But then I think about Vanessa Bryant, Kobe Bryant's widow. I follow her on social media. Kobe and their daughter Gigi tragically passed away in a plane crash in January of 2020. And Vanessa honors them constantly in posts. She is there for every memorial erected in Kobe's honor. She has continued his Mamba Sports Foundation. She really has leaned heavily into making sure nobody ever forgets about Kobe, their daughter, and both of their impacts on sports. So I don't know, I guess different strokes for different folks. I generally try to reserve judgment about how people grieve, but in this instance, you can't ignore the wave of people that knew Stephen personally that have come out to publicly denounce the claims Allison is making now. Stephen's mother posted a statement to Instagram stating, "Our family is absolutely appalled by the misleading and hurtful claims made about my son, Stephen Boss. The recent publications spreading untruths about Stephen have crossed every line of decency. As his mother, I will not let these accusations go unanswered. We will not stand by while his name and legacy are tarnished. He doesn't deserve this, and the kids don't deserve this. For the last 2 years, I have remained quiet and away from the public eye to protect my family. My primary focus has been on healing and attempting to remain connected to my grandchildren. But when I read these dreadful claims about my baby, our beloved Stephen, I realized I could no longer stay silent. Our family will ensure his name and memory are protected, and we are committed to defending his honor." Connie Boss Alexander. Many of Twitch's friends, families, and colleagues have come out to post their own statements disputing what Allison is saying and showing their support for Stephen's mom and his family. I don't think that I've seen anyone making any posts corroborating what Allison is now claiming. Allison did take to her Instagram stories to address all of the backlash, stating, "To fans of Stephen and our family and friends, I want to be clear that my only intention in writing the book is to share my own story as well as part of my life with Stephen to help other people. Just like you, I never really knew what happened, and even as I am trying to put the pieces together, I will never really know. If you decide to read the book, hopefully you'll see my intention is to celebrate the love and life I shared with Stephen and our 3 beautiful children, and also the more complex aspects of both of our lives. I hope that by sharing our full story, maybe I can help someone else who might see themselves or a loved one in Stephen. In sharing, I hope that maybe they can catch some of the red flags that I missed before it's too late. Over the course of the last 2 years, I've spoken in detail with NAMI as well as the Solomon family and the Defensive Line Foundation to better educate myself on mental health issues so that I can share warning signs with others. All of my proceeds from this book are going to fund the mental health focused foundation I started in Stephen's honor, Move with Kindness. My hope is that we don't need to lose another husband, brother, father, or friend to suicide. I believe that if Stephen were able to choose, he would choose to have his story told if it meant saving even one life. Much love to all those who have supported our family these many years. If you follow my other channel, Reality Squad, you will know that in March of 2024, the Sister Wives community was rocked by the death of Garrison Brown, who died by self-inflicted means. It does seem that substance abuse disorder did play a role in Garrison's death, and his family has spoken out about the role that mental health and alcohol abuse played in Garrison's struggles. Garrison's blood alcohol was like 3 times the legal limit at the time of his death. Just a terrible, terrible tragedy. With Twitch's death, his tox screen was clean, and now Allison is supposedly releasing parts of a personal journal of his that she found after his death, and it just all feels really icky. He could have chosen to share those struggles, but he didn't. So why do it now? It doesn't seem like drugs or alcohol had anything to do with his death. So why put all of this information out for the public now? Friends and family of Stephen are accusing Allison of being opportunistic, trying to sell a book. Let me know your thoughts on all of this down in the comments. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel. You can follow me on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at Reality Squad, and I will catch you guys in the next video right here on Sarah Spills. Take care. Have a good one. Much love.